Most people think the only way to save $1,000 is to cut everything fun and to live on willpower. In reality, you do not build your first $1,000 with misery and deprivation. You build it by changing how your brain engages with money and by targeting the one part of your budget that actually moves the needle. Why saving $1,000 feels impossible. For most people, a $1,000 fund is simple on paper and heavy in reality. People are not failing because they are incapable of saving. They're failing because they're trying to save in ways that do not work on how the brain behaves under stress. You might know this pattern. You psych yourself up. This is it, I'm going to be responsible. You attack your budget with a red pen, out go the coffees, little treats, anything that feels like joy. For the first week or two, you feel virtuous. Then life happens. Work is exhausting, the kids get sick, there is an argument at home, or you're simply worn out. You feel tired and restricted. One takeaway, one impulse shop, one I deserve this moment, and suddenly you are back at square one. The plan did not fail because you are weak. It failed because it was built on deprivation, not design. Saving feels impossible when your plan is built around cutting all the small comforts that help you cope, while ignoring the real leaks in your budget. Most people are trying to build a $1,000 buffer by fighting their own nervous system. When you're already overwhelmed by bills, debt, and life, your brain does not want another punishment. You do not build a $1,000 fund with guilt. You build it with clarity, a few well-chosen moves, and a structure that reduces friction instead of increasing it. Instead of asking, what else can I cut to be good? I want you to start asking, what is the simplest, smartest way to reach $1,000 that works with my reality, not against it? We are going to design that month, right now. The budget cut nobody talks about. The fastest way to build $1,000 is not about cutting spending in every direction. It is about cutting friction and cutting excuses. Your biggest obstacle is not the price of coffee. It is the gap between your intentions and your behavior. Think about how many people you know have said, I will start on Monday. I will save when my tax return comes in. I will save when things calm down. I will start when I earn a bit more. These are not money problems, they are friction problems. Every delay is your brain trying to push discomfort into the future. The mystical perfect time never arrives, so nothing changes. Before you cut expenses, you need to cut excuses. If you do not deal with the mental stories that delay action, any budget you create will eventually collapse under pressure. Friction also shows up in ways you manage your accounts. Money lands in the same account that you spent from. There is no automation, no clear separation between spending and protected. That setup makes it effortless to spend and hard to save. The real budget cut most people avoid is cutting the emotional resistance between I want to save and I have actually moved the money. Automation, separate accounts, simple rules. These change more than any other lecture about lattes. Stop looking for more willpower. Start looking for ways to make the right action, the easy action. We want savings to become almost automatic and emotional spending just a bit harder. Once you do that, $1,000 in 30 days becomes a realistic challenge, not a fantasy. You do not need a complicated system. You need a short, sharp, 30-day plan. We're going to combine 4 things. One quick win, one meaningful cut, a bit of light structure, and a different response to urges. Let's imagine you decide that next month is your foundation month. You treat it like a focused sprint, not like a permanent lifestyle. For 30 days, you are willing to be a bit more intentional and a bit more uncomfortable in exchange to finally getting your $1,000 buffer in place. Here's how that can look. Step 1. Create one fast win. People need quick wins to stay motivated. In the first week, aim to create an instant $200. That might be selling 3 to 5 items that you haven't used in a year, cancelling a subscription that you'd forgotten about, returning unopened purchases, or negotiating a small discount on a bill. The point is not perfection. The point is to prove to yourself, I can move the needle quickly when I focus. Step 2. Automate before you see it. Every payday, set up an automatic transfer, even $20 to $40, into a separate emergency starter fund account. No card attached, no easy transfer back. This is not optional. This is a structural change that removes the need for you to decide every time. The decision is made once, and then it runs quietly in the background. Step 3. Make one high-impact cut. Now pick one category where you emotionally overspend. For a lot of people, that might be eating out, food deliveries, shopping apps, daily convenience spending, or boredom spending. You do not have to eliminate it. You simply reduce it meaningfully for 1 month and redirect the difference. If you usually spend $150 a week in that category and you cut it down to $50, that's around $400 in 1 month. You have not removed all joy. You have removed mindless excess. Step 4. Pause before you spend. For 30 days, here is your rule. Whenever you want to buy something non-essential, you pause for 24 hours. Not forever, just 1 day. That tiny delay creates awareness. It gives your thinking brain a chance to catch up with your emotional brain. A lot of impulses will dissolve when you give them space. Step 5. Move the money immediately. Every time you save through a choice, move it into your starter fund straight away. Do not leave it floating in your main account. This prevents the "where did the extra money go" problem. You turn good intentions into visible progress. Now let's put it all together. A focused 30 days could look like this. Around $200 from your initial win, around $400 from your high impact cuts, $80 to $160 from automations, and $100 to $300 from reduced impulse spending. That is roughly $800 to $1,000 without needing a second job and without needing to become a different person. For the next 30 days, treat this like an experiment. You are not signing up to live like this forever. You are choosing 1 month of intentional effort, so that future you has a buffer. That short-term discomfort is the emotional cost of finally having $1,000 set aside and not having to panic every time life throws you something small. The identity shift behind your first $1,000. Your first $1,000 is not just about the number. It's about who you are becoming in the process. Think about these two identities. I cannot seem to hang on to money, something always comes up, versus I am becoming someone who can create and protect savings on purpose. From the outside, the actions look small. You sell a few items, you make a phone call, you say no to one delivery meal. But internally, each action is casting a vote for the kind of person you want to be with money. A $1,000 starter fund is about survival on one level. On a deeper level, it is about your identity. Money says, I can survive the next emergency. Identity says, I am someone who makes strong financial decisions, even when it is uncomfortable. Every time you follow through on your 30-day plan, you show your nervous system that you can tolerate short-term discomfort in service of something better. Over time, that reduces anxiety because your brain has evidence that you will take care of it. The effort you are putting into changing these patterns is not wasted. It becomes part of your new baseline. Once your brain has experienced, I can do this, it is much easier to do it again and again, whether you're saving, paying off debt, or later investing. Stop measuring your progress only by the size of the account. Start noticing the kind of person you are training yourself to be. When it feels hard, remind yourself, this is me learning to follow through. This is me proving I can create options. That shift is what makes this $1,000 the beginning of a new chapter, not just a once-off challenge. A clear plan is powerful, but support and structure makes it sustainable. You do not have to do this in your head. You can use tools that hold some of the mental load for you. Many people in this community found that once they had a simple way to track their progress and a framework for understanding their patterns, things started to click. Instead of guessing, they could see their wins, understand their debt, and know what to do next. If you've tried to save before and could not make it stick, it does not mean that you are hopeless. It often means that you are missing a framework and a way to see your progress. Using tools is not a sign that you are bad with money. It is a sign that you are serious about changing your behavior. You are making it easier to do the right thing consistently. And getting support for the psychological side of money is just as important as learning tactics. If you do not understand your triggers and avoidance patterns, you will keep bumping into the same walls. Here is what I want you to do next. Commit to your 30-day $1,000 plan. Then choose one support tool you will actually use. Do not let this stay as nice information. Turn it into concrete decision before the day ends. If you want help putting this into practice, I have created a free guide called the Break the Debt Cycle, a 3-step action plan to stop living paycheck to paycheck. It will help you identify your spending triggers, insert friction before you spend, and redirect money into the things that create real safety, like your starter emergency fund and your debt repayment. Alongside that, you can access a small toolkit, the Financial Fitness Tracker, to see your progress across months, not just days. The Debt Snowball spreadsheet to show you how your $1,000 buffer and debt payoff can work together. And the Financial Terms Glossary to help you feel more confident with the language of money as you grow. You'll find the link in the description to get your guide, the tools, and to join the early access list for the Money Reset mini course. The mini course is where we go deeper into the psychology behind spending, avoidance, and building momentum. And because this is episode 2 of 3, make sure you subscribe and watch episode 1 if you missed it to understand why the order you build your emergency fund in matters. And episode 3, where we will look at how this $1,000 buffer helps calm anxiety and rewire your sense of financial security. I'm Christine. Thank you for choosing to do the uncomfortable work that gives future you more freedom, choice, and abundance. And $100 to $300 from reduced impulse spending.